Good afternoon everyone, I'm Khomotsa, and today I'll be talking a little bit more about my business management presentation. So prior to this presentation, we were given a case study of which I had to open a fitness facilities that caters for a large variety of clientele. This facility had to have the following facilities: a cardio facility, a strength facility, a functional area, an indoor swimming pool, as well as a studio for various classes. We were given certain tasks to which today my presentation will be based. So with this presentation today, I'll be talking about the floor plan that I chose for this facility, as well as why, hygiene considerations for this facility, cardio equipments that I chose, why I chose them, as well as how I will maintain them, strength training equipment, why I chose them, as well as how I'll maintain them. Furthermore, I'll be talking about safety considerations of the facility, as well as briefly discussing a few hygiene as well as maintenance schedules. So without any further ado, let's get into the presentation. So looking at the presentation, this is the specific floor plan that I chose. I chose for the reception to be close to the entrance door to speed up the signing process, but also as gatekeeping to regulate those that go in and out the gym. I chose the restrooms to be attached to the pool as a way to maintain members' privacies, as the restroom have exits that lead to the pool. This will prohibit them from walking around with bathing suits in the gym facility. The studio being placed at the corner of the gym is to control the music that plays so that it is not bothersome to the rest of the gym facility. Also, the reason why the studio is placed at the corner is that people that are partaking in the class can do so without any disturbances. The purpose of having the offices isolated is to ensure that employees can do their work without having to be caught up in the chaos of the gym. The reason why I separated the cardio and the strength training facility is that people who enjoy either or can do so without being disturbed by either machinery from the strength facility or machinery from the cardio facility. Furthermore, the reason for grouping strength training machine into muscle focused machines is for convenience, that people don't have to move greatly or cause chaos when they're moving from one machine to the other, knowing that certain people do work out muscle specific groups such as chest, back or legs. So if one is doing chest day, they know that all the machinery that they need to perform all the exercises is around one area. And the reason why I situated the weight in the bench area is that every muscle group at the end of the day do require some sort of dumbbells or barbells, and it is for convenience that all the muscle focused equipments all end up leading to the weight and the bench area, so that it could be of easy access if they do need to utilize weights as well as benches. Having a circuit training session that is separate from each and every equipment is to ensure that people that are starting to introduce themselves to weights, as well as people who enjoy circuit training, may have that to their convenience instead of moving from one machine to the other, causing disturbances. Also, having a second functional area on the upstairs floor is to ensure that people that enjoy strength training can finish their whole workout on one floor and not have the inconvenience of having to move downstairs to go finish their workout, be it them having to start their workout by warming up and stretching, or them having to do abs as well as stretching at the end of the workout. Okay, so moving on to hygiene considerations. These are the following hygiene considerations that I thought that were necessary to have in place to make sure that the gym facility does work properly and does follow like a hygiene protocol of some sort. All restrooms should have showers that have soap dispensers, and members that want to use either the sauna or the pool need to take a shower if they did not shower at home before coming to the gym, or just had a workout and are sweaty and want to use the sauna or the pool. All restrooms should have toilet paper at all times, as well as soap dispensers next to each and every basin. Changing room benches should be disinfected every 2 to 4 hours by the cleaning staff. Ladies' bathroom need to be supplied with sanitary bins to ensure that all these sanitary items are properly disposed. All areas of the gym, including the studio, the functional area, the cardio area, the muscle group focus sessions, the weight and weight section, as well as the circuit training section, should have stands that have heavy duty cleaner as well as paper towels to ensure that members can clean their machine before and after using them, so that it is hygienic for whoever that is going to use the machine before, as well as the member that is using the machine currently. On the same stand, sanitizers should be placed to ensure that as members do gym, they have the ability to just sanitize their hands, and this sanitizing stand should also be put in the reception of the gym facility. All equipment must be cleaned by the staff every 4 to 6 hours, provided that the machine is free and that is not going to be of a disturbance to members of the gym. The studio must be cleaned after every group training sessions, provided the classes do not clash with the cleaning schedule. The gym floors must always be kept clean, so if at any point somebody breaks something or something is spilled, that should be cleaned immediately, but also every 4 to 6 hours, just to ensure that, you know, everyone's sweat and so forth is just disinfected and the gym facility remains clean. The pool should be cleaned regularly, but each and every week a thorough chemical deep clean is required. Every day, just as the gym closes, all machines, gym equipment, gym floors, showers, saunas, the internet area, the reception area, the offices, the personal training offices, as well as each and every facility in the gym should be clean, so that it's clean and ready for use. So moving on to the cardio equipment that I chose the treadmill, the stairmaster, as well as the indoor bicycle. The reason I chose the treadmill as well as the bicycle is because these equipments are inclusive to sports conditioning training. So runners as well as cyclists can utilize these machines into their training programs. The treadmill is such a beginner-friendly machine that can be used by people who are introduced to the fitness world. It is also a widely used machine for the warm-up. The Stairmaster is another great cardio machine which can be used to spice up one's cardio routine. This can also be used mostly by moderate as well as advanced individuals. The bike I chose because it is a great choice for doing less workouts. It is also a better non-weight bearing activity, so this means that it is better for one's joints. Okay, now moving on to the maintenance portions of these cardio machines, I'll first be talking about the maintenance of the treadmill. Treadmills need to be cleaned regularly. You should clean the deck as well as the belt once a month. You should also clean the areas on either side of the belt, as well as the deck exposed areas. Wipe down other portions of the machine using a damp cloth and sponge every week, and clean the treadmill motor area at least 3 times a year. When you clean the motor, follow the instructions. Moving on to another maintenance aspect of the treadmill, we are going to talk about lubricating the treadmill. So most treadmills can lubricate themselves. That is because these treadmills come with a special wax on their component that continues to lubricate the treadmill over time. Read the owner's manual to determine if your treadmill needs lubrication. If you find that the treadmill does require lubrication, however, do follow the instructions on. Moving on to the second last factor of the maintenance part of maintaining a treadmill, we are going to talk about aligning the belt. So treadmills can require belt alignment from time to time. A treadmill's belt should be running straight from the deck center. If it doesn't follow that path, then it needs to be aligned. The last factor of maintaining a treadmill is maintaining belt tension. Most good treadmills come with a pre-adjusted belt tension. However, if you use the machine continuously, the belt will stretch. So if the belt does become loose, it will begin to slip, which will cause excessive weight to the deck as well as the belt. If the belt becomes too tight, it will damage the motor and rollers. The belt's tension should always be kept just enough to keep it from slipping. The next maintenance consideration that we are going to look at is replacing the belt of the treadmill. So the belt will eventually run out, and one should check the belt for signs of wear out at least 3 times. Moving on to the maintenance part of the Stairmaster, we will start with the cleaning process. Do not use any glass cleaners as well as any other household cleaners for the console. Clean the console daily with a water dampened cloth and wipe it dry after cleaning. Clean the exterior of the machine daily using soap and water or diluted non-mineral based cleaner. For general maintenance, one needs to check the safety and wear labels daily. One needs to spot check the step chains daily. The alternator belt tension needs to be inspected monthly. With regards to the lubrication of the Stairmaster, the drive chains as well as the bearing plates needs to be inspected monthly. With cleaning the console as well as cleaning the side covers. Moving on to the maintenance protocols of the bicycle, we will now separate them into the daily maintenance, the weekly maintenance, as well as the monthly maintenance. So moving on to the daily maintenance of the bicycle, at the end of each workout, one needs to make sure that they wipe the bike clean. One should never spray cleaner directly to the frame. Instead, one should spray it on the cloth and then use the cloth to gently clean the bike. Moving on to the weekly maintenance of the bike, every week one should carry out a general inspection for the cycle. So one would need to keep a close eye for loose assemblies as well as excessive vibrations on the bike. Things that one should look for when doing these weekly checkups is that the bottom bracket assembly can loosen up over time, and this will require tightening. Pedals and crank arms will require regular tightening. For monthly maintenance of the bike, one should carry out a more comprehensive inspection of the overall frame as well as the main assembly components of the bike. The main thing that will require your attention are the brake pads, which will require lubrication when the resistance starts skipping, or if there are any grinding noise coming from those areas. Okay, so moving on to the strength training machines that I chose as well as why I chose them. The strength machines that I chose were the squat rack as well as the F2 functional trainer, and lastly the multi-versatile HS Fitness Club gym machine. The reason behind my choice of the squat rack is due to how popular squats are in the fitness industry, as well as powerlifters having to use the squat rack, be it to deadlift or squat as a fitness sport. So also due to the fact that exercises that are done using the squat rack are compound movements, which is convenient as this targets a lot of muscle groups all at once. The reason why I also chose this equipment is because of how versatile it is, taking into consideration that just by taking the barbell, one can now transform the specific equipment into different kinds of machine, not just with squats. One can do deadlifts, one can do lunges, one can do hip thrusts as well as bench presses and so many others. Okay, so moving on to the reason why I chose the FT2 functional trainer is due to the fact that this is such a versatile machine. With just changing the position of the bars, one can perform so many exercises targeting different parts of the body. I also chose this machine specifically because it is such a staple to the gym, as it targets most popular muscle groups such as the chest, as this is mainly used to perform like perf flies and so forth. One can perform back exercises with it as well as leg exercises. So I chose this due to the versatility of the machine, and this is because you can just do a lot of exercises, or you can perform your whole workout just using this machine and just changing the accessories as well as the position of the bars. Moving on to the multi-versatile gym machine, and I chose this specific machine due to how versatile it is, as one can see that this machine embodies different machines all at once. This machine has a chest press, it has a lateral pull down, a leg press machine, a bicep stand, a hamstring curl, as well as a pull-up bar, which makes this a full body machine. So the reason I also chose this is because one doesn't need to move all around trying to go from one machine to the other. One can just perform so many exercises with so in terms of maintenance, with all these 30 machines, the most frequent maintenance task is definitely to wipe down the machines. This task can be performed multiple times a day with a cleaning rag as well as a water-based disinfectant. But specifically for the squat rack, knowing that dirt, dead skins, as well as rust and lifting chalk can be collected on the barbell knurling. Each week one needs to use a wire brush to ensure that they scrape them clean. They need to also oil the bearings every month so that the sleeves can spin free. Both the FT2 functional trainer as well as the multi-versatile HS fitness club gym machine, both of these machines are resistance machines, and as we all know that resistance machines have moving parts that must be lubricated at least on a monthly basis. For resistance equipment, spraying a silicone into a clean rack and then applying it into the weight tracks will definitely do the job in terms of lubricating the machine. The other thing that one can do is to spray silicone into the bearings and move them to ensure that they can move freely. One thing that one needs to take note as an overall maintenance for strength equipment is that each week one needs to do a walk through the facility to identify worn and broken equipment. They need to also spot if bench checks have tears and cracks on them. They need to examine cables to identify if they have frying or tears in their rubber coatings. They also need to check the fixed barbells and dumbbells to ensure that the weights are securely attached, and then they need to immediately fix or replace equipment that poses as a hazard to the members of Moving on to the safety considerations of this facility, the access of the gym is through a membership card as well as a fingerprint system, and when a member is registered, a picture is taken of them to ensure that when the access card is swiped by the receptionist at the door, they can see whether the face that is trying to enter the gym matches the face that is on the system. Also, the gym should have a CCTV camera, except for the bathroom, obviously for privacy reasons, so that workers can monitor the people and make sure that they are okay, as well as people are adhering to the rules, and also for accountability purposes. All staff members need to be certified in CPR so that they can respond to medical emergency. Furthermore, the gym needs to have emergency buttons on all sections of the gym. That is the studio, the disabled people's bathrooms, the pool, as well as the strength training areas and functional areas. This is to ensure that members can click on the button, but to inform the employees of the gym that an emergency is taking place at a certain area of the gym. Also, first aid kits as well as the cover, which is that specific roller that is used to ensure that a member's privacy is maintained when they are attending to medical emergencies of that specific member, should be present on both floors should an emergency occur. Upon signing the gym membership, sales consultant need to make sure that they do talk about the rules as well as the consequences of what happens if members are not adhering to the rules. Furthermore, the facility needs to have enough out of order signs just in case that machines do not work, that members are notified so that they do not injure themselves. Fire extinguishers need to be in the studio, the pools, between the cardio and functional area where the heavy duties and the sanitizer will be, as well as upstairs in the strength training room just in case there is a fire. Emergency exit points need to be clearly pointed out by signs so that members know where to go in case of an emergency. The gym alarm system need to always be working so that in case of an emergency, members can be notified that there is something wrong going on in the gym. Going on from that, staff members need to be given uniform, but furthermore, the cleaning as well as the maintenance staff need to be given extra equipment such as gloves, and for the maintenance side, if they are going to be working with drills and stuff like that, you know, eye covers, so that they are protected as they do their job. All equipment needs to have instructions. A first day orientation system should be compulsory for each and every member when an employee takes the member through a gym tour, so that they can show them how these equipments work. The gym must have enough wet signs so that the staff can place them on certain areas to alarm the members that when they walk into a certain area, they need to be careful so that they do not slip. Panic buttons need to be located in the reception so that in case of a robbery, alarms can be sent out to this specific gym facility. A hygiene as well as a maintenance schedule is scheduled, where the cleaning staff or the maintenance schedules are responsible for certain tasks during the day at certain time slots to ensure that the gym runs effectively. Things such as walls and floors, studios, functional areas, as well as air conditioners, the saunas, the pools, the toilets, as well as the chilling area and the internet area do have schedules around how they're going to be cleaned and what time they're going to be cleaned. And with regards to the maintenance schedule, things such as the website of the fitness facility as well as the IT, computers, are air conditioners and equipment do have a maintenance schedule, of which people who are responsible for that do have a set schedule on when and how often they need to be maintaining these. So as you can see, this is the end of the presentation, and I really did hope that you have learned a little more about my fitness facility. So